know how I go every week on Chartable and they always have one review of our show?
Right.
Okay. This week, it's from a guy called Will Vicious from Myrtle Beach via Apple Podcasts. Okay. He gives the show 1 star.
Okay.
He title is, Does Disco Let Anyone Talk? He asks a question and immediately starts answering before the guest gets a chance to speak. If the guest even gets half a sentence in, they're being talked over by Disco. This is Konnan's show, yet he gets it cut out from under him and power talk by Disco. He has to fight to get a word in. Well, this is actually both their shows.
Okay. I want to dispute that.
Yeah.
I want to dispute that.
Go ahead.
Okay? So here's my, for you people that don't, did the person listen to the show or just listen to a YouTube clip? Do what? Because that's going to be
Apple.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Because here's the deal. I have to read all the emails.
Right.
And the basic cadence that we have with the email ratings is we have the emails, we have the move, and like the email has a question, and I kind of like start with my answer first because the way we've set this up, usually probably 90% of the time in all the email things, we go to Konnan for the last word on all, right? Oftentimes, I'll not get in everything I want to say at the beginning. I'll cut people off and something, but the segment always usually concludes with Konnan getting the last word in. Would you guys agree with that? That's
No.
the way we gotta have you would not agree with that.
No.
Okay. Why would you?
I think what I just heard was a lot of linguistic that for you trying to, sugarcoat the way that you power talk and you talk too much, which actually I remember one time Jericho was like, I can't believe Disco talks more than you and it's your show. And I was like, who talks more than who? I'm not keeping track, Sometimes it is frustrating, but I love Disco. He can, that's no problem with me. I know him. He's not a bad person. He doesn't do it intentionally. Sometimes what does annoy me is when I'm trying to get my word in and he goes, wait a minute. And I'm like, this better be important. And it isn't. And I end up forgetting what I wanted to say. But that's, if you met Disco in person, this is what you're going to get. Just so you know, this is not an act. If you meet me in person, this is what you're going to get. I'm not an act either. Joe's a little bit weirder. But you don't know what you're going to get with him. Well, you know what? We'll get to that in a minute.
I've been walking the plank. I know the gun's behind me. I'm just waiting for it to get shot.
Well, you know what? We'll make this little thing here. So this is what my friend Joe did to me, which I think
Joe to defend himself.
He can defend himself, and you can defend him too, because I know you.
I would think Joe would be willing to fake his cat's death and try to make it sound like he did everything wrong. Do you agree? Do you think you would do that, baby?
Yes.
Lay really still. I need a picture of a dead body.
Right.
So let me tell you mistake number one that I made. This was mistake number one right off the bat, and it's my mistake. I told Joe, hey, I'm going to the Philadelphia Marriott Airport. Do you know where that is? And I think it's a mile away because I stayed there before the MLW. But I think there's one that's connected to the airport. And he goes, yeah, there is one connected to the airport. That's it. I should have not even listened to him and say, are you sure? Here's the address. Make sure. But I didn't. So I get to the airport. I walk over to the Marriott in the airport, which the Philadelphia airport, if you've never been there, is humongous. Okay. With a whole bunch of bags because I'm trying to sell for the virtual signing. Wrong Marriott. So I get a hold of him because we're supposed to go at 5:00 to go see Dave LaGreca's show. Right. So I've been there since 2:30. This guy lives in Philadelphia. All right.
Show you live in Philly.
Just outside of, yes.
He lives in South Philadelphia. That's Philadelphia, right? Yeah, so then he shows up at the hotel at 4:30. The only thing that saved him from getting a verbal lashing is he brought me a vape pen, right? Which is very nice. So at 4:30, I'm like, all right, I'm going to put on my bags and we'll go to Dave LaGreca's. This guy says, I still have to go to the casino, check in, and take a shower.
What casino?
Live. It's just called Live Casino.
Why are you checking into the casino?
I had a comp room, and I was like, I'll just use it tonight because it'll be easier to get back and forth.
So if you know I'm coming in at 2:30, and you know we're going, huh?
Yeah. Why did you not wait until? Why did you not shower at home? Do the signing and then go check into the hotel?
That's a fair question. I had set aside time for myself to check in and shower, and then but what zipped me was I thought I had someone to bring Konnan something, and then they were like, "Oh no, I'm down at Access." So I stepped in to bring Konnan the pen, and it just took my 20, 30 minutes that I was going to go to the hotel, boom, quick shower, ready, blah, blah, blah. That's all.
So you would have been punctual if not having to get the pen for Konnan.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Let's go with that. Konnan has to share a little bit of the blame in that, because if you would have stayed to the schedule, you wouldn't have gotten the pen. Correct?
Right. If I would have been able to depend on the other guy.
Here's my argument to that.
I'm calling
Here's my argument to that. You've got
impromptu kangaroo court of thought.
You have the day before, huh? What?
I'm calling it impromptu kangaroo court.
Right.
Okay, so go ahead. I'm going to be the judge too. Go ahead. Right. Continue.
So when we get there, he informs me that Kevin Cross is going to have a thing with Bobby Fish at the same place, and we find out it's in another place. So we had to go drive over there to see Kevin and Bobby Fish, right?
Yeah. The problem with that, DI, was Busted Open Live was at a place called Xfinity Live, and there's different little venues inside. This was in Victory Beer Hall. Bobby Fish's podcast, like promotional poster thing, says Undisputed Bobby Fish with Karrion Kross at Victory Beer Hall. So I thought, and the times match, I'm like, oh, they're going on right after Busted Open. That makes sense. There was no address on it. Come to find out, it was the Center City Victory Beer Hall, which was, a different venue. So
okay, let me ask you a question. I'm the judge in this, so I need the details. Number one, did you have a verbal agreement with the Greca to go to the show?
I told them I was going to go, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were going to.
Did you have any type of, were you obligated to go see Cross specifically at that time at the Bobby Fish show?
I told them I was going to see him there because he told me he was going to do Joe told me. Joe told me. I don't know what.
Okay, so Joe, all right. So
Kevin Cross is going to be there right after, so we'll stay and hook up with him.
Fair mistake by Joe.
Yeah, fair mistake.
This mistake could have happened because there was the same name of a venue at two different locations. You're like, how would you know that? Okay, all right. So I'll give a pass on that. All right, so
then, and I will say, when Joe was with me, he was very helpful, and anything I needed, he was there to help me out.
A lackey,
a friend, doing me a favor.
Yeah, but honestly,
I consider myself a lackey if I went to help you do something in Vegas.
I said that on Twitter to answer someone from the Discord, but I didn't mean it insultingly.
All right. Well, whatever.
I was making fun of myself, kind of.
You are a lackey. So then we went to. So then at 9:30 at night, I go, hey, get ready.
Friday night, by the way.
This was Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, we're at Ray's Hotel. It was a get in there.
Real quick. This is the definition of lackey.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone who does menial tasks or runs errands for another.
Right.
It's
kind of a derogatory term.
A servile follower.
Yeah. Yeah, I would not consider him either.
Right, but I would have said the same thing about myself if I was there just hanging with Shane, or if I was grabbing something for Ray. It was just look at me being a lackey.
Okay.
All right. Being self-deprecating humor. Yeah.
The definition gets a little bit more complicated here. So as a transitive verb, it means to wait upon or serve obsequiously. So what is obsequiously?
Obsequiously.
Obsequiously. I've never heard that word before, to be honest. And I'm pretty intelligent. Isn't that the fact I've never heard that? Let's see what obsequiously means. Obsequiously means marked or exhibiting a fawning attentiveness. So when you were being his lackey, were you standing next to him and staring at him like Paul Heyman does from Roman Reigns?
Yeah, like the hand on the shoulder. Do you need anything?
Just staring at you the whole time.
All right, so let's fast forward. And at 9:30, we're getting first of all, to get into Ray's Hotel. You cannot go in there if you're not they
got
registered guest.
Blocked off for WWE.
Yeah. Right. So we had to have our boy Spiff, who's been on the show before. He produced, Rick Ross, Anuel, a whole bunch of big dudes. He's got a name in the biz, and he's a big wrestling fan. So he came down, he got us. 9:30, we're gonna go. You know how Ray does; he does everything first class. So we're gonna go to a nice chop shop, right, in Philly.
This kind of late at night for dinner, right?
Well, he was at the mall, and he was just getting by. So we waited for him, and then 10 minutes before we're supposed to leave, Joe goes, "Hey, I got something to do with my dad." What?
All right. We need details on that, Joe. Explain.
But I did.
Right.
I thought.
I think this before.
I think there was miscommunications because I did, and I said on here, and I said to Konnan, here's what I have to do this night. I got to do this. I'll see you and we'll go to the podcast, and then I got to go to the Blue Meanie thing to meet my dad. And then,
oh, you know what? That's true. That 100. I got to give Joe credit on this, Konnan. Maybe you forgot this, but Joe
I knew he
has talked about going to the
He
Blue
never
Meanie
told me about his dad.
Well, let's go with his dad, but it's still go to the Blue Meanie thing.
Right. Yeah. So maybe, and then
maybe that's the miscommunication.
At 9:30, he flaked out and he left. He didn't tell me he's going to Blue Meanie. He just said, I got to hook up with my dad. Right. I'm like, that's pretty weird. I mean, you could do that any other day. So, all right, I don't need you to go to dinner with me. So that's cool. Make sure I see you in the morning. All right. Because I'm going to need help. So the guy from the thing is like, yeah, you're going to need any assistance? I go, no, I got my boy Joyce coming down. He's going to help me and all that. I'll break him off. Right. At 11 o'clock, 1 hour after he's supposed to be there. And of course, not answering his phone ever.
Wait a minute. What time? Wait, is this 11 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
The next morning.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. Guarantee you this went out with his dad and got drunk somewhere, went to some lowly place to get drunk. At 11 o'clock, he calls me up and he's like, yeah, I'm at the checkout counter. The reason I haven't called you is because I'm charging my phone. So if you're at the checkout counter, were you charging your phone in the supermarket? I doubt. And why?
No. I'm going to give a pass on this.
Right.
Probably went out, let's disagree. He probably had a few drinks the night before.
Agreed.
Came home and forgot to charge his phone. Okay, so you wake up, your phone is like,
and you're going to need it all day.
So you're calling me from the checkout counter. Where do you charge your phone?
Where you charge?
They put it behind the counter. Well, when I saw there was a line, I went up to the girl. I said, would you mind charging us until I check out? She charged behind the counter.
And you couldn't call me before you did that?
Yeah, why didn't you call before that, though?
I mean, that's true. I was just rushing.
That's a bad thing. Okay, I'm going to give...
Why are you at the checkout counter when you're supposed to be helping me?
I'm going to convict Joe of bad excuse here.
Yeah.
Try to convict of a bad excuse here.
Well, I think there's miscommunication. I'm going to, and on my end, because I thought when I told Konnan, I was like, all right, so then Friday, I'll see you in the morning. I'll probably be there from like 10:30 to 12. And then I got to split because then I have that whole day of things at the arena.
That never ever transpired.
Right. I wasn't aware that Konnan, I totally was not aware that you needed help and that to set up.
You know what the hours were, and when you left Rey Mysterio's restaurant, the last thing I said is, "I'll see you at 10 in the morning." You said, "Yeah." That was it. That was our last conversation. It wasn't 10:30. I'll be there at 12:30. I got to go to the store and call you an hour later. None of that.
All right, I want to make a point here. So, I've known Konnan for 27 years. Okay. Mm-hmm. And when I used to travel with Konnan, okay, Joe, you have to understand that Konnan, Hoovy, Ray, Psychosis, when I would travel with these guys, they are not attentive to schedules or details. Somebody else has all the schedules and details planned out, probably when to show up. They're going to be late. Okay. But then you go do what you think, but they don't have any concept of, well, what's the schedule? Where we go? What's the map? What is the map planned out for the day? Okay.
Yeah, I'm like Sabu. Take me where you want me to go, and I might show up.
Right.
And here's the worst part. Then after 11 o'clock, after he tells me, hey, am I charging your phone? I'm at the checkout. What were you?
Just as soon as I checked out,
Joe, why are you at the store?
No, I was checking out of the hotel and I was waiting for an Uber. As soon as the Uber got there, I was headed your way.
All right. Here's the thing. When I would travel with Konnan, I was very detailed and meticulous, and I would plan everything out. Okay, Konnan needs people like that. Joe, I would doubt, Konnan, this is your fault,
right,
for thinking that Joe would have the attention to detail to plan out a day and have it go.
No, that is not my fault. You would think at his 100%. Age, as long as
why would you think he is? He has no experience.
Because I'm trying to get him to get better. And
I traveled every weekend. You're trusting a guy to come with attention to detail and plans that doesn't have a lot of experience in doing stuff like this.
What do you mean he doesn't have a lot of experience?
But I thought we had because when like I said, I sent, okay, this is the hours, this is busted open, boom. I got to order my dad. And then the next day I got about an hour and a half, 2 hours to come to WrestleCon. Then I got to do this. I just thought we had it clear, but we hadn't. You know what I mean?
All right. So here's the next question. How was your WrestleMania Hall of Fame? What did you do there? What WWE related? You went to anything besides the Hall of Fame?
No, WWE related nothing, but I had a very good conversation. And this was funny because just to show you
who did you see there? Like, who did you see?
I saw everybody. So,
like who?
I Damian Priest. I saw, X-Pac. I saw Road Dogg. I saw everybody. I saw Shane. I saw his wife. I saw everybody. So, the Usos. And when I was I was backstage with X-Pac, and for some reason we were in a.
Wait, you were at what show are you at?
At SmackDown Hall of Fame.
So you went to SmackDown, or did you show up afterwards, or did you go?
No, I went at SmackDown during the whole thing. Yeah, so I went in with Fluffy. What's this guy's name? Gabriel Iglesias. We were actually in his truck.
Okay.
He rolled with like 6, 7. He's a huge wrestling fan.
Ooh.
And Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias. You don't know who that is?
No idea.
The comedian, the Mexican comedian. Show him a picture.
Yep.
That he always wears a Hawaiian shirt. He's got a like.
Oh, okay, no, I know.
You got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's big. He's a big star. And because other stars would see him and they would want to take a picture with him. And so we were in his truck because he's real good boys with X-Pac. And I was like, yo, man, I sent you a message so you'd be on my podcast. And I think I have the wrong number. So he gave me his number. Bully Ray gave me his number too because, he'd never could come on the show. So I was backstage with X-Pac talking with Road Dogg. And for some reason, we were in a little area that was very dark. So Bruce Pritchard is walking by with Hunter and he sees us, but Hunter doesn't. And then he goes, hey, Hunter, it's Konnan and X-Pac. And he goes, oh, hey guys, how you doing? And then he told me a couple of things, which I can tell you off air, very nice. And then he talked to X-Pac, and then he went about his way. But I sat out there. Did you see the Hall of Fame speech?
No.
Before you talk about the first, I thought you were going to say, like, Bruce and Hunter are walking by, and Bruce looks to the right, and he sees you, X-Pac and Road Dogg, and kind of like in a dark corner, and kind of made like I thought he was going to make like a or something, like, oh, the troublemakers are over here, or something like that.
They were like, why are you guys? No, there was something like, he said, Bruce actually said, why are you lurking in the dark?
Because he was implying that you guys are all three. You're probably hitting the pen while you're over there.
Not implying that.
I guarantee.
And the funny thing is,
didn't cross his mind.
I thought he would have been looking for something.
Well, it's kind of funny because at one time he told me that Vince told him that did I still have a problem, right? And he was like, God. Yeah, he doesn't do. He does, Right. The funny thing is that a few minutes later, we were out in the light and Bruce was walking by again and he goes, oh, so you came out of the darkness, huh? But it's funny because I remember twice I was backstage and Bruce didn't like me at all. And he actually told security, he screamed it out. If there's nobody that should be in the backstage, get them out of here, which
you could hear it.
Right. And I actually told Ray once, I go, bro, if I were to punch Bruce, how much heat would you get? He goes, a lot of heat. But we're cool now, yeah. But the Hall of Fame, it was fun going, bro, they're so professional. It's just, when you're back there, I saw Cody. He shook my hand. He didn't say anything, just shook hands. When you go back there, it just impresses you how incredibly...
Did anybody have any derision? I don't care about the people that liked you.
Oh, you want people that maybe came up to me and were, hey, why did you say that about me?
Derisive things to say to anybody. Where'd you get a cold shoulder from?
Oh, he shook my hand, but I know he's like, no, you bury me all the time. And it was not it was more like cordial. Our boy almost.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow. Did anybody have any negative things to say about me? They said, why are you at that disco? Did anybody say that?
No. Maybe Shane Helms. Yeah, but bro, it's just you go back there and you just see how professionally run it is, how everything's working, how everybody's happy, like really happy, not like Well,
they're selling out.
Yeah,
you are all happy.
Like,
isn't that funny?
Yeah, there's a great vibe backstage that it's very, contagious.
Yeah, and everybody that was out and about when we were there, Konnan, waiting for Ray, just very celebratory atmosphere for sure. Everyone that was hanging out was in the great mood and all that. Seemed
interesting.
Well, it's like anything else. If your team is winning, if you're the Atlanta Braves and your team is winning, the whole team's happy, the community's happy, the office is happy. That's what we're seeing, bro. And obviously Hunter is running the place 100% now, which is good. Well, you know what I couldn't believe when I went out, because I had asked X-Pac, so is Stephanie ever coming back? He goes, I don't think so. He goes, you sure now that Hunter's there? And it was funny because I was walking through the Gorilla to go take my seat for the Hall of Fame, and she was sitting there in Gorilla. And I go, bro, I think I just saw Stephanie sitting back there. Then when Paulie did his thing, she was there wearing like an ECW beret.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's coming back or not. Bro, you should see Thunderbolt Patterson. He did like a sermon.
Right.
Bro, they had Paulie open it. He didn't end it. He was the first one, which was very weird to me.
Right.
And they showed the old pop, bro. They showed the old Thunderbolt Patterson, you know, when he'd be like, I'm going to kick that.
Right, yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
They showed that. And bro, and they actually showed, I couldn't believe WWE did this because it kind of said, hey, Dusty bit from Thunderbolt. They showed Dusty's like mannerisms and Thunderbolt's like mannerism. And you can tell Dusty stole a lot from him.
Right.
But do you remember his promos?
Oh, yeah.
How great
grew up with him. Yeah. He used to have a big hit. Him and Ole Anderson had great promo battles back then. They drew a lot of, like, they would always do good business with each other. You know?
And
like the old serious, older, angry white guy. It's like a good dynamic, you know? Like,
great. Yeah, and he was an angry black guy, which was great. Yeah. And he would always pop you. I'm gonna like
he can cuss.
He would have been like New Jack. But you know, it's funny because I don't think a lot of people knew who he was, and bro knew they really put him over big time. And I was really happy that they put him over because I don't think he came out in a wheelchair, and I was sitting across from Jerry Briscoe and Pac goes, they got a lot of history together. And he got up from his wheelchair and they hugged, and it was a really good moment. The Hall of Fame in general, I thought was kind of boring.
Right.
Yeah. So what is your judgment here? My mistake for trusting Joe to do anything, is that basically your verdict?
I'm going to say both you guys share responsibility. Joe a little bit more,
right?
Because it's his hometown. He was a guest in his town,
right?
But I think I'll give him a pass on a couple of the miscommunications,
right?
But I would say 60-40 Joe's fault,
right?
Because you share some responsibility too.
Right. No, I accept my responsibilities. I still think the whole, you know.
Joe, do you accept this fair? Is that a fair decision?
Yeah, absolutely. I should have been far better organized and scheduled.
Right.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.